My full name is Noé Alberto Escobar Medina. However, though, I basically just go by Albert by everybody. I started drawing since I was just a kid, basically. I used to watch a lot of cartoons, and that made me want to just to have fun and just to see where my creativity can go. I've just always been interested in things that are just related to creativity, like film and video games and animations, movies, stuff like that. Okay, that just kind of manifests itself into art and stuff. And of course, I had access to a laptop, and I used to go on like art websites and just to see what everyone else was doing. I just saw what people on the internet were drawing, and as I grew older, I just never kind of grew out of it, and I've made friends who are artists and stuff. So it's just mostly for fun. That's why I draw, but there's reasons for it. Yeah. So my art style, I came up with it back in September 2019. My idea was that I wanted to have something that was like really grotesque. But what happened was that the subjects I drew, I draw mostly girls because honestly, girls are just a lot more fun to draw. And it just kind of manifested my style into something else, basically. I've also wanted a style that was just like really cartoonish in nature. I've never been too good into like realism drawings and stuff like that. Not that I don't like it, it's just something that I never caught on myself. And it's just a lot more fun to draw with because people say like, oh my god, you have such a unique art style, and I love it so much. It's a way to describe it, according to one of my friends, is cute glee, which is cute and the word ugly combined, which I agree with very much. When it comes to the designs of characters, it does kind of reveal my interest in things that are like fashionable, just fashion in general, okay, of all different types. I might have my favorite types, of course, but like fashion in general is something I've always just found really cool since I was just younger. Character design, kind of the same thing, okay, I can design characters of all types, okay? It doesn't really matter what the context is or what genre of story I'm working on, because I also do like fictional stories in my free time. But even when it comes to like helping people, yeah, it makes the character design just really interesting because it's just really fascinating that you can manifest that you can think about a person that doesn't exist, a character, and you can manifest the way that they would look like, and you can play around with that as long as you want. And it's fun to see how character designs also evolve too and stuff. It just gives more life to a character and or whatever. And it's just a really fun thing it's just really fun to do. When it comes to digital drawing, honestly, the most thing that kind of gets to me, that kind of annoys me, is when the tablet just doesn't want to respond sometimes. But I think it's just my computer and stuff. But other than that, though, I still enjoy digital drawing. It is a little bit more technical because I have to with paper you can kind of do kind of the same thing, but it's just kind of hard to explain. But yeah, other than that, though, digital drawing is still pretty fun to do. I can bring out my art style a lot more with digital than on paper, because paper still has its own drawback. I still do sketch on paper, and then I digitize it, which is just finish the drawing digitally, And it's not the hardest thing to do, but apparently it was tricky for me when I first started to play around with it.